Cha, reporting live from the Money Mantra, and we are back with another Forex education video. I created my channel to help as many people as possible become independent and profitable traders. So if that sounds like you are in the right place at the right time. So welcome back to my channel. Now, in today's quick video, I'm going to be showing you a quick one indicator strategy that you can use to trade gold. You can use this to scalp, you can use this to intraday trade, or if you have the patience, you can even use it to swing trade. Now, the reason why I like to trade gold is because you can secure thousands of pips in one trade and sometimes even in one candle. So the risk is always worth the reward when it comes to gold. But always be mindful that you are going to have to still use proper risk management, emotional control, and all of those other non-charting things in order to help you become a more profitable trader. Now, we're only going to be using one indicator in today's strategy. This makes it perfect for beginners, or if you're still using the basic plan of TradingView, which limits you to two indicators, this fits right within that. So the first thing you're going to want to do is head over to tradingview.com. If you don't have an account, that's fine. You can create one for free and you'll still have access to all of these free tools on the left panel, plus whatever two indicators you choose to add to your chart if you choose to use indicators at all. Now, to add the one indicator we're going to be using today, you want to click here where it says indicators, metrics, and strategies, and you want to search for the stochastic. Once you find it, you just want to simply click on the stochastic. You don't want any of the stochastic RSI, momentum index, just the basic stochastic. And to make it even easier to access next time, you can click the star to the left of it, and then next time you will find it under your favorites. Now, once you add the stochastic to your chart, it will look like this. The next thing you're going to do to finish setting up this indicator, you are going to right click your panel where you see your prices. You want to click labels and you want to make sure that indicators and financial value labels are on. Now, this is important because these two numbers that you see over here are going to be used in our analysis to help us determine if we should be entering these trades or not. Now, I do just want to break down the stochastic before we get into the full strategy, just so you know what exactly you are looking for. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that it does have a shaded background. I like to call this the safe zone, and it has some numbers over here, right? Now, this top dotted line is going to be the 80% line. This is going to help us determine if we should sell. This middle line is going to be the 50% line. It's going to help us identify continuations or changes in trend. And then this bottom line is going to be the 20% line, and it will help us determine if we should enter a trade for a buy. So I have a list of confirmation questions that I ask myself because it helps me work through the same process every single time in my trades. And the first question is the stochastic facing up or down? The second question is which line is on top, the blue or orange? And the third question, which you can extend to 3 to 5 questions, is has the stochastic crossed above 20? Has it crossed above 50? Or has it crossed above 80? Right? You can ask one or all three of those questions. Or you can ask, has it crossed below 80? Has it crossed below 50? And has it dropped below 20? Now, what you will notice is, let's look at a buy example first, and I'm going to show you the perfect entry and exit for this particular trade. So let's put the chart in replay mode, and we are going to come here. So looking at the stochastic, we can see that, and also this is helpful too, especially if you're a new trader and you need to keep track of your analysis without getting overwhelmed. You can just simply write down a tally in your trading journal or actually on your chart. So if the buyers get a yes, we're going to put a tally mark here. If the sellers get a yes, we're going to put a tally mark here. And at the end of this, whichever side has the most confirmations, that's the way we're going to take the trade, plain and simple. So the first question is, Is the stochastic facing up or down? We can see this that the stochastic is clearly facing up. That's going to be one confirmation for the buyers. Now, the next question is going to be, has the blue line crossed above 20? And we can see that the blue line has crossed above 20. Now, has the orange line crossed above 20? Not yet. So that's something that we would want to wait for before we rush into this trade. Now, the next question you could ask yourself is the blue line or orange line on top? And we can see that the blue line is clearly on top, giving us another confirmation for the sellers. What you'll notice is that when the blue line is on top and the stochastic is facing up, this will be a great opportunity to buy. And it will be an even better opportunity to buy once the stochastic has officially crossed above 20. And let's just look at three small examples here. Now, these three confirmations usually align with the market going up, and it will let you know that it's okay to take the buy. The best time to enter for that buy, again, will be if it crosses above 20, and you can exit that buy once the trade has hit a previous high or the stochastic has crossed back below 80, letting us know that the trend is changing. So again, let's look at this by example. We have the cross above 20, we have the blue line on top, and we have the stochastic facing up. And then we could have actually stayed in this trade until we got the cross below 80, and we still would have been able to secure all of these pips. Now, if you guys are following along so far, just go ahead and give the video a thumbs up because it is pretty simple. All you're doing is going through the checklist to see which confirmations that you have, right? So far we saw that the buyers were in control. Let's go to the very next candle and see what happens. All right, cool. So we can see that our blue line is above 20. We can see that our orange line is also above 20. We can see that the stochastic is facing up, and we can see that the blue line is on top. So with this, we can set our stop loss below a previous low. Because it's a buy, we can set our TP at the next high, and we just wait to see what happens. So I'm going to buy. I'm going to put my stop loss below the previous low. I'm going to set my TP at the next high. And I want you guys to actually watch what happens to the stochastic. Because we have our setup and our entry signals and confirmations for the buy, the stochastic is also going to give us our exit signals as well. So we can see that the market is actually pushing up and it's continuing to go up, right? We hit our TP, and it's not until we get the orange line facing down, the blue line facing down, the orange line on top, and the stochastic facing down that we could actually take this trade in the opposite direction as well, because now we have our sell confirmations. So let's go ahead and set our stop loss above a previous high, and let's set our TP at a previous low, and we are going to see what happens in this trade. So we can see that the market actually did push down, right? And it's continuing to come down. It's continuing to drop, and it hit our TP as well. So we were able to secure profits in both ways on this trade simply by using the stochastic. So if this is making sense, you guys can go ahead and drop a 7 in the chat or like this video to let me know it's making sense. Now I'm just going to go back into the past for a while, and I'm just going to highlight more examples of the stochastic crossing above 20 and that being a great opportunity to buy, and the stochastic crossing below 80 and that being a great time to sell. So let's look here. We can see that the stochastic had crossed above 20, right? We can see that the blue line was on top and facing up. And we can see that in this one candle, this would have been more than 1,000 pips, right? Simply if we would have waited for those signals. Here we see the stochastic crossing below 80. We see the orange line on top, and we also see it facing down. So we would have been able to stay in this trade, right, until we got the cross back up. And even still, we would have secured 3,000 pips, right? So I'm just going to scroll on my chart and I want you guys to pay attention to the stochastic and what the stochastic is doing and how the market is reacting around that time. So here's a beautiful sell example. Here is a beautiful buy example, right? There's the buy example. So here's the sell example, right? Here is the buy example. So the stochastic is a very handy tool. Once you mix this in with support and resistance, this becomes a super simple strategy that anyone can learn and profit from. Now, what I mean by support and resistance is when you come into your chart, you should always mark your previous support and resistance so you can have an idea of what the market is going to do next time, right? So I'm going to find one more example. We will do a sell this time where we can clearly see that the stochastic has either crossed below 80. All right, so here we go. Here's a good example here. So you want to set your previous support and resistance. I would say the easiest way, especially if you're a new trader, if you see that the market is starting to have wicks at the top, we are going to consider that a strong area of resistance. Resistance usually comes after a buying trend where the market is having a hard time pushing up. So I'm going to put a line there. And I'm also going to put a line at a previous area of support because these are going to be where your TPs are going to be and where your stop loss is going to be as well. So let's just go ahead and ask ourselves these questions. We are looking for the sell opportunity. So we are going to say, after we've marked our support and resistance, you can even put an additional line here, right? But I'm going to use the higher resistance. We're going to say, is the stochastic facing up or down? It is facing down. We're going to say, is the orange line or blue line on top? We see that the orange line is on top. We're going to ask, has one or both lines crossed below 80? And we can see that both lines have crossed below 80. So this is going to give us the confidence to enter this trade for a sell. Now, again, we are going to use our previous area of resistance as our stop loss. I'm not sure why the cell isn't working. So we're going to use our previous area of resistance as the stop loss, and we're going to use any one of these TPs, right? Simply because we have all of those confirmations on the stochastic. Now remember, you can use previous highs or lows as your TPs, or you can just use the stochastic. Here, it told us where to enter, and once it crosses back above 20, we are going to know that we should exit that trade. So we can see that the market is pushing down. It actually did hit our TP, and we could continue to sell until we get that cross up on the stochastic. So this strategy is very simple to use if you are a beginner, if you are someone looking to refine your strategy so that you can become more profitable. I would definitely recommend trying out this indicator. I always tell you guys, if you don't have a process and confirmation checklist that you use, you can always borrow mine. So I really hope that this video was helpful. If you learned something today, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, or share it to another trader who you know that it could help. If you have a trading group or community and everyone's trying to grow and learn together, I would throw this in the mix and really see what happens. I post trade ideas every week for my trading community. I have transitioned to trading gold more just because it is so profitable and the structure is so predictable. So if you would like to join my trading community or connect with me outside of YouTube, you can click any of the links down below in my description box, and I would love to connect with you guys. I also post daily motivation and some of my older favorite videos on my community tab every single day. So that's another way that you can connect with me. But that's really all I have for you guys today. Until next time, rich friends.